Going on, it is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Can I get a roll tide inside the comment box? I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for being here. Today is Thursday, February 13th. I promise you it's going to be a good show today, so thank you very much for being here. And as always, I just want you to know that I really, really appreciate you guys, okay? So today on the show, the meat of our show will be about Alabama's fourth quarter program, okay? We'll talk about some of the photos that the University of Alabama has provided on social media. And I'm going to ask you about your interest level and some of the questions that you have about some of the players that are returning from some of the photos. I love this photo right here. It started off with the jump. I don't know. And I asked on Facebook, I was like, what do you guys notice about this photo? Go ahead and say what you notice about this photo. There's one particular thing that stands out in this photo for me. Also, we're going to talk about kind of to warm the show up this morning. Greg Byrne, the athletic director of the University of Alabama, is proposing, and this is the poll question today, that if teams storm the court or the field after a game, the home team should forfeit. The opposing team forfeits that game. You see what I'm saying? So if like Tennessee, when they always storm whatever after Alabama, they would forfeit that game. So I don't know, right? Should teams forfeit if fans storm the court field? All right, that's our poll question for today. I was thinking about that. I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. And then also, there's a bill that has been introduced that would not tax NIL. And I don't know how I feel about that. And I want to get your take inside the comment box, okay? I get it. Everybody is trying to, come up with ways to make things better to come here or there. But I don't know, I'm paying a hell of a lot of taxes, and I'm sure you are too. It's like, I don't know, man. You're going to be in the professional realm. You're going to make the big money. Oh, you got to pay taxes. So, and then on the back end, we'll talk about the fourth quarter program. So all that and more coming up today on Bama Football on YouTube. Oh, we'll hit on, of course, Alabama basketball versus Auburn. We're inching closer to the Iron Bowl here at Coleman Coliseum. Let me know where you're watching from inside the comment box. Remember, after these shows, they are uploaded to Apple Podcasts and to Spotify. Antoine, what's up, man? Let me give some shout-outs real quick. Love Bama. Chris in New Jersey, what's up, man? Herman, I see you inside the comment box. Todd Tipton. I appreciate Todd was double-dipping last night. So was Antoine. What's up, man? I reran the quarterback. Sometimes you'll see me rerun a show in the evening time. Don't be surprised. We all grew up on reruns. What was your favorite show growing up? I was watching Fresh Prince. I was watching Family Matters. I was watching Saved by the Bell. And then as I got older, I watched The Office reruns, Seinfeld. We grew up on reruns. All right. First things first. So yesterday, Greg Byrne to ESPN said this. If we said to the home team, if they storm the court of the field, right, they're going to lose the game right then and there, that'll stop it. Talking about fans storming the court, right, after they upset somebody, whatever it may be. How do you feel about this? Right? I don't know. I put the Tennessee photo in there. Just that was the first photo that popped up to me. So Tennessee upsets Alabama at Neyland Stadium. They storm the field. And so Greg Byrne in the article, I'm sure you guys saw, oh, happy days. I remember happy days for sure. Sunday, Monday, happy days. Saturday, what a day. From the safety standpoint, I get it. Have you ever been on a field that has been stormed? It's bananas, right? And think about it. And I was thinking about this. There was, and I don't know what happened with this season, but wasn't it Dre Kirkpatrick Jr. was sued by a player at Oklahoma? So Oklahoma fans, after they beat Alabama, they stormed the field at Norman, right? And then a high school student who was 18 ran into Dre Kirkpatrick. Something happened. I never even followed up on the story. But the guy ended up suing Dre Kirkpatrick. I think it was Dre Kirkpatrick because he said he hit him. Yo, And I was thinking about this. The more that these players, like Coach Saban, Coach Kalen DeBoer, they have security detail. Some of the higher level players do as they're leaving, but not everybody does. And what if these players, right, have big value on them? All of them should now. And these students are coming up with the plan, hey, let's go and kind of start a fight with this player, get knocked out, and then we can make you see what I'm saying? It goes a lot of bad ways. I've never understood why, like, that's kind of the danger of it. And I don't know what happened with that Drake Kirkpatrick. I'm sure, it probably got dropped. I have no idea. But I think that's what it's getting at. But then I was thinking about this too. He says this, and this is like national news, right? It's on the front of like ESPN. It's everywhere. What if, because Alabama's 2 and Auburn's 1, they're playing at Coleman? There's no way Alabama storms the court after they beat Auburn, is there? Can you imagine? The irony of that. The thing about Alabama, since I've been here, and you guys have watched, decades and decades of game, when was the last time that the Crimson Tide stormed a field or the court? I can't even remember. There has to be some data out there. Does anybody know? The last time I was on a field that was stormed was way back. It was like way, way back. Probably older than some of you that are watching. So it was my 12th birthday, and I was living in Santa Fe. And my dad and his twin brother, my uncle, they took me to a football game. The Lobos played Tulsa. The Lobos beat Tulsa, who was ranked at the time, to win the Mountain West Conference. And we stormed the field. So we jumped on the field, we ran on, and I promise you, it was terrifying because like the huge cluster of people started bringing the goalpost towards us. But what was cool is after that game, we went and watched a basketball game. One of the highlights growing up. You remember certain things. That's what I remember. So I don't know. So that's what's in the national headlines today. Should they forfeit? It's like part of the college football fabric, college basketball fabric, but at the same time, I don't know. There seems to be a lot of different elements that you can look at as well. Also, on Tuesday this week, an Alabama state representative presented a bill in the House that seeks to exempt name, image, and likeness, NIL, earnings from Alabama's individual income tax. Oh, man. What a crazy time to cover college athletics, right? Yes or no, are you on board with this? Should NIL earnings be exempt from individual income tax? If you think yes, type Y, and if you think N, type no. Oh, man. Eesh. I'm gonna say if you make the money, you got to pay the taxes. But the competitive advantage, I get it. See, Max Tooney's saying hell no. See, I have a problem because, like, man, hard work, you got to pay taxes. And you're using your brand to make money, man, you got to pay. I'm sorry, but you got to pay. Man, and the IRS, man, don't play with them. Man, I know April's coming up. Yeah, and that's the thing. You're a professional. You're an adult now. This is the world that adults live in. Taxes. What do they say? Certain in life? Death, taxes, and what else? Something else. Oh, man. So, yeah, I'm not on board with that. I mean, I don't. You gotta pay, man. Okay, so Alabama basketball and Auburn about to square off on Saturday. Nate Oates told CBS Sports, this could be the best game in all of college basketball all year and the best regular season game in I don't know how many years. Rivalry, 1 versus 2, best conference ever. A lot of people talking about the best conference ever considering that entire stretch of Alabama basketball. Plus, Alabama basketball is about to play everybody, right? Oh, Patriot life, man. Federal income should be abolished. Oh, my goodness. That would be... Man, for a business owner, oh, my goodness. That would be... I mean... Yeah, and I get it. It's state, not federal. But, I mean, from like a federal standpoint, as a business owner, oh, my goodness, man. It's tough. So this game... All right, so what's your confidence level? On a scale of like 1 to 10, Alabama has the home court advantage. Auburn's number 1. What's your confidence level in Alabama basketball beating Auburn head-to-head? Or winning on Saturday? I have to tell you, I feel pretty confident about Alabama beating Auburn. There's a couple different reasons why. Number 1, Alabama, I think, plays extremely well at home. I think them being number 2, it doesn't matter who is number 2 or number 1. I think the home field advantage gets Alabama, what they need. The Crimson Chaos should be absolutely crazy. 8-6. Now, does Alabama win in Auburn? I don't know. I'd probably say I have way less confidence in that. That place is tough to play at. But I'm feeling pretty good that they would split this series. Five fan funderships purchased. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Oh, and I have a Patreon. Patriot Life. That's what's up, man. I don't recognize the avatar without like no USA info in there. And that's the thing, Emmanuel. I think Alabama is so deep right now that they'll be able to weather this storm of all the teams that they're about to play. It's a absolutely wild schedule that they're about to encounter, and it starts with Auburn. Coming off 2 road games, right? Arkansas and Texas. Arkansas was pretty good. Hey, for those of you that were gifted by Patriot Live, be sure and give them a thank you. I mean, sometimes I'm like, the difference in this game will be turnovers, but Alabama turns the ball over so much, and they still win. They still win by a lot. Like, they turn the ball over like 20 times and still win. Bama and Georgia coming to us from Powder Springs, Georgia. That's what's up. Chance, and you know what? I think that's a really good point. Depends on how they shoot from three-point land. I mean, against Texas, they were absolutely on fire. How many threes did they hit against Texas? Let's see. Was it 17 three-pointers? Is that right? That's crazy. But it's the matchup that everybody, College Game Day will be coming here. For basketball. 1 versus 2. Love it. I don't know. I think, man, look at Nate Oates, his drip. He's got the drip. And you know who I kind of think of during times like this, like when you have a huge game at Coleman Coliseum? I think about him often because there was nobody like him. But like Fluff, remember like the biggest fan of Alabama basketball ever? It's been a couple years now since he's passed away. This game was like made for somebody like him. And what was cool is Alabama gave him flowers during, like, while he was around. Remember when they gave him the jacket, the plaid jacket? When you go inside the numbers between Auburn and Alabama, let me make this full screen so we can tighten this up. I mean, look at Joni Broom over here. 18 points per game. 10 rebounds per game, 3 assists per game. Auburn's 22-2, 10-1 in conference. Alabama 21-3 on the season, 10-1 in conference play. My goodness. I think Auburn's favored by like what, 4.5? Sears scoring 17.8 per game. Grant Nelson averaging 8.1 rebounds per game, and Sears 4.9, let's call it 5 assists per game. There at the bottom, Alabama averaging 90 per game, Auburn averaging 84.8. I think this game will not disappoint. There is zero chance that this game disappoints. That's right, Todd. So he passed away in 2020, right? Ugh. I mean, look at the bottom. This is pretty much a stalemate there at the bottom. Field goal percentage is about the same. Rebounds about the same. Assists exactly the same. Blocks, steals. Alabama riding that 7-game winning streak. Yeah, Ebony. I used to see his mom too. His mom used to post, kind of updates, and obviously she was going through a lot. So, but she had a lot of support. I don't, who knows? But thoughts and prayers to her. I think about her, and Fluff, and this game. This is like a game for him. So, and we'll continue to talk about it tomorrow. Probably, I think tomorrow on our Friday show, we'll call in. We'll do like a score prediction, or we'll do something like that. Tomorrow we'll probably have a call-in show. Getting to the meat of our show, the Alabama fourth quarter program. It's something that takes place before spring football. Players get together, high intensity, working with David Ballou, building continuity, building brotherhood. Alabama official social media account has shared a couple photos. I'm sure you follow their social media accounts. There was a couple things that stood out to me in some of these photos, and what I'm going to do is go individually over some of the photos that they have shared, paired up with some stats, and ask you some questions. That'll be the meat of the show. Can we tell who's pulling the rope in this particular photo? Is that Justin Hill? Is that new addition Justin Hill? I think it is. What a great photo this is. And I think, to me, I can see a lot of intensity. You kind of develop that dog mentality right now, right? Pushing yourself. No gloves on a rope. You ever held a rope with no gloves? Not at this age. All right. We start out. This is not Jeremy Bernard. Let me do a quick edit real quick. That is Quay Rusa. So I think when you kind of look to the intensity, right, of this team, I think it's right to question it, because you're like, do these guys really have that mentality that we're accustomed to? Do they have that dog mentality? Do they know that last season wasn't the standard, right? So we start out with Quay Rusa. That was a quick edit. So you'll notice, too, I put a little emoji down here. And you guys can help me with the emoji. I'll put emoji on like every single player. Kind of like what we're thinking about them, things like that. So he'll be a redshirt sophomore at the start of this next season, right? 6'2", 251 pounds, 36 tackles, only one quarterback sack. But certainly a projected starter at that position. So let me ask you this. In terms of Quay Rusa coming back, what type of impact do you think he's going to have on the defense on a scale of like 1 to 10? I put a stock up emoji on him because I feel that his ceiling is super high. I feel that also, to me, it was hard to believe how well he played last year as a redshirt freshman. Now, he played behind Q-Rob until Q-Rob got hurt and he eventually became the starter. But how are you feeling about Quay Rusa? I think he's going to be outstanding. I would like to see a little bit more quarterback pressure. That's one of the things that we were talking about with the entire defense. But, man, he is so good. And the entire room at that Wolf position, outside linebacker room, so good, so talented. I said earlier this week, this would be one of my favorite positions to coach on the team because of the talent that you have. You're going to look out, like Christian Robinson is going to look outstanding coaching this group because they are all phenomenal. Yanzi Pierre, right? And I'm thinking Cavante Henry the new addition, and Justin Hill will be what position players as well. Noah Carter, right? Herman's saying he's excited, like a 10. I would imagine that a lot of the thought process about him coming back on a scale of 1 to 10 and what he'll bring will be very high. He's not like the most marquee player, but I think sooner or later he's going to be one of the main guys on defense. Probably sooner than later. Anita, what's up? Anita saying 9. Good morning, Daniel Adams. We saw you last night, man, double dipping on the evening show that we replayed. Kevin, what's up, man? Kevin has a 9 as well. And we're, of course, watching, and the photos that we have are only the photos that have been shared on Alabama's official account, so we don't have photos of all the guys yet. But we'll do this periodically once we have, a good portion of photos. And I honestly, man, I'm really waiting for Yanzi Pierre to get more opportunities. I'm really excited for a player like him. Okay, so next up we have, there we go. That's Jeremy Bernard. I put one of those sticky things that you buy out of the small vending machines, leaving Kmart. Do you guys remember Kmart? Did Kmart exist here in Alabama? We had Kmart in New Mexico. I liked going to Kmart. Was Kmart here? All right, so he'll be a senior, 6'1", 290 pounds, included in those elite wide receivers that are coming back. Last season, he had 50 receptions, 794 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Clearly a projected starter. Him coming back is outstanding. Him and Ryan Williams, throw in Isaiah Horton, throw in all your guys. Okay, yeah, so you guys did have Kmart. The blue light specials. Yeah, man, remember? That was, yeah. And it's crazy. The older that you get, some of those stores start to close down, like Kmart. I was trying to explain to my teenager, I guess I could say teenagers, what going into a Blockbuster was like. And I had to pull up a YouTube channel and show them, yeah, you went in and you picked up a movie, and you looked at the back, and then going out, you could buy popcorn and stuff. Kmart, I felt Kmart was fine for what it was. I felt the pricing was good. I mean, shoot out, how old was I? Attention Kmart shoppers, yeah. Are there really still Kmarts? Hacker Music bought a suit from Kmart. Man. I didn't know they did photos there. I remember doing photos at Sears. Anybody do Sears photos? Oh, yeah, J.C. Penney. Yep. Shoot, man. All right. Let me ask you, back to Jeremy Bernard. On an excitement level let's do excitement level. What about 1 to 10 about Jeremy Bernard coming back? I think I'm probably a 10. I don't go 10 very often on some of these 1 to 10 that I ask you, but, Jeremy Bernard, I was kind of on the fence if he would go to the NFL or not. Him coming back is outstanding. He was sure-handed. He's a playmaker. A lot of volume, very experienced. Complements Ryan Williams really well. I would imagine he has a similar year to this. Very talented wide receiver. A lot better. I thought, and I was mistaken on this, I thought that Kendrick Law would be better than Jeremy Bernard this last season. I kind of figured it would be Kendrick Law and Ryan Williams or however that happened. And, maybe we'll see kind of Jeremy Bernard emerged this year, but I was way wrong on that. Jeremy Bernard came in and was the guy. In fact, he had a really good spring game, if you're not mistaken. Right? I think him and Jalen hooked up. It was either like once or twice for close to 100 yards, even in the spring game. Oh, guy's very good, very steady player. And you know what? I don't remember him dropping many passes either. He's good. Very talented. I think he started out, if I'm not mistaken, at Michigan State and then went to Washington and now finishing out here with the Crimson Tide. You can call him a portal surfer, I guess. Yeah, Antoine has him at a 10. Yeah, for sure. I'm at a 10 for him for sure. This is a big time player. Okay, Keon Sabb. I put like a little, injury icon. How are we feeling about Keon Sabb coming back? This is one I want to kind of get into. Are you excited on a scale of 1 to 10 for Keon Sabb coming back? Like, let me ask you this way. What's your confidence level in Keon Sabb being a safety back there with Bray Hubbard? On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your confidence level in Keon Sabb? I think that first game, he had 2 interceptions in the first quarter, I think. And then he had a pretty good season. I was surprised this morning. I was running through the stats. He had 39 tackles. He was injured, I think it was October 19th against Tennessee. Okay, 9s, 10s, okay. T 4.5. I would figure there would be a couple that were a little bit lower. I might be like a confidence level. I might be like a 7. Darren Jenkins saying you're going to be seeing picks and helmets flying. Him and Bray Hubbard, man. Like, I'm about to show Bray Hubbard here in a couple clips. And I think Bray Hubbard in his last 3 games had 15 solo tackles. That guy was everywhere. Okay. So you guys have some good confidence in Keon Sabb. This will be one of the stories that we're watching in the springtime to see how healthy he is. And having him and Bray Hubbard coming back, kind of the blessing. There's always some sort of blessing, right, in something. J-Bake's saying he's too slow. But I think, like, the blessing is you had a chance, even though he went down, you had an opportunity for Bray Hubbard to grow up. And now you have both those guys back, right? Because you lost Malachi Moore. I think he got cooked a couple times. It was against Georgia. A lot of the guys in the secondary got cooked last year. That was just, especially in the beginning of the season. Okay. Feeling good about Keon. Good to see it. Ooh, how about this one? LT Overton. Scale of 1 to 10 with him coming back. I was so surprised that LT Overton chose to return. I'm a 10 again here. This guy is so good, I put an elite stamp on him. I would imagine if you were to compile like a top 25 list, a top 40 list, top 30 list, right? Of like top returning players, I think LT Overton would be included in that. What's up, Bama hater? I see you inside the comment box. What's up, man? Old man Bama. He's saying Sabb Headhunter. What's up, man? B-Rob saying he's not slow. Daniel Adams. Pay your bills, Germ. Antoine's on a 15 for LT. Yeah, they should all be high. I think when you look to like the biggest hits last year, he probably had the biggest hit. Remember when he hit that Wisconsin quarterback? The backup quarterback. Man, he's very talented. And this is the thing so now we're talking about that bandit position, right? That's a defensive lineman that's under 300 pounds, that has good athleticism, that can get to the quarterback. There could be kind of a logjam there, or you have rotation. I'm not sure how they'll be able to. They'll deal with this however they want to, clearly. But you have LT Overton, Kelby Collins, who just came in from Florida. And then you have, I guess, Keon Keeley and then Jordan Renard. So the Bandit players, that's a really stacked position as well. You just got to make sure to keep those guys through this free agency window after spring football, right? Stephen Burton says he should win some awards after this year. Yeah. No, he's – and look at you. This is a great photo. Nice and tight. You can see the sweat coming off. He don't look like he's having like a comfortable workout. Looks like he's pushing himself. Looks like he's kind of pissed off for greatness, if you ask me. All right. Everybody feeling good about LT. This is Jordan Renard, and I put a question mark or like a emoji because I think him versus Keon Keeley, like, again, that bandit position is going to be very talented. These guys are playing. There's a lot of guys trying to get on the field at that particular position, and I think this guy's very good, like very good. I think if let's say like this guy decides to hit the transfer portal, I think it'd be impactful to the reserve quality of depth. 6'4", 268 pounds. I don't know if these heights and weights are updated. I'm sure Alabama will update them as we get closer to spring football. Had 14 tackles last year. He's really good. He's probably someone that, you know, the casual fan doesn't know about, but if you know about him, he's talented. I remember Coach Freddie Roach on one of the interviews when he was talking with the media, he had a lot of positive things to say about this guy in terms of athleticism and just his overall ability. He's probably somebody you need to know about. I'm sure all the defense feels the same way. Like, this guy's he's ready. Like, if he gets opportunities, he'll be fine. I'm just telling you, LT Overton, I don't know if he's better than Kelby Collins, but you have 4 bandits that are very good. See, Steven's bringing up, you know, Keon Keeley may kick rocks if spring. Yeah, I would imagine it's going to be tough to get a lot of playing time this year for some of these bandits that are a little bit buried right now because of this log jam. It's not a bad thing to just wait. Iron sharpens iron, but in this day and age, you know, players don't stay because of, you know, all sorts of reasons. All right, Bray Hubbard, fan favorite. I put a boom emoji in there. You know, it's 17 solos. So in his last 3 games, okay, the last 3 games that Alabama played, he had 17 solos tackles in that game. I think he had 7 against Michigan. And I think he might have had like 5 against Michigan in the final game, because I know he had 10 against Oklahoma. Did anybody out there know that Bray Hubbard would be this good? I'm going to ask you, what's your excitement level about Bray Hubbard? On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm sure it's all over 10. There's another 10 for me. He had 2 interceptions as well, right? 57 tackles. I didn't know, to be honest, I didn't know that he would be this good. And we feel completely different about the secondary this year as opposed to this time last year because of all the returners, or at least guys that you have with experience coming back. We're not talking about any corners today, but you know that Xavier Brown's returning. You know that Damani Jackson's returning. I don't know who will step up at that Husky position, that extra cornerback, if you don't know what that means. And then the 2 safeties, you got Keon Sabb and Bray Hubbard. So it looks like Keon Sabb, they're showing photos of him. I would imagine he's healthy, which will mean he'll get even more experience and get up to speed for the spring season. And then Bray Hubbard, that's a really good secondary. Did he have 3 picks? I looked up the stats this morning. These should all be updated, but if I missed it, I'll update it for the next show. Maybe somebody wants to double check on the how many interceptions he had inside the comment box. I appreciate it. And he's just like, as you know, in football, some players on the defensive side of the ball, they just are able to get to the ball carrier frequently. And he's one of those guys. I think he was probably one of the hardest hitters on the team too. I think I'm trying to get a couple new hoodies for this year. Maybe I'll get a Bray Hubbard. I'll see if they have any. I want a Jam Miller one too. I want like a Jam Miller and a Bray Hubbard. I already have the Ryan Williams one. A good place if you're looking for athlete-specific gears to go to Athlete's Thread. That is the officially licensed merchandiser for University of Alabama and the players. How about this guy? Josh Cuevas. Is he like a sleeper playmaker? That touchdown that he caught against Wisconsin was nice. The play he had against Mercer was nice. He didn't have a lot of production. 16 receptions, 218 yards with a touchdown, though. I don't know. Let's do a yes or no on Josh Cuevas. Is he a sleeper in terms of like a playmaker? Type Y if you think so. Type no if you're like, we need to see more of him. So your tight end, and I think the duo, if they do go in like a 12 personnel, meaning two tight ends on the field at the same time, I would imagine it's going to be Danny Lewis, who was in the transfer portal. Then he took his name out of the transfer portal, and then, of course, Josh Cuevas, who will take over as the main tight end from C.J. Dupree. A lot of life is like timing when you come in. I think for a player like him, he's in a very good position to have a very productive season. You're talking maybe 16 receptions to probably like 40. And I think that was that play. I mean, when you're kind of looking back to positives that Nick Sheridan had last year, that designed seam route against Wisconsin, that was drawn up beautifully. He was wide open. When you looked at it from like the reverse angle, he kind of just slid over. There was the safety had gone somewhere else, and Josh Cuevas was wide open. It was a beautiful touchdown. Yeah, so I put kind of like the sleeper emoji on him. I don't know. We'll see how he does. We haven't really talked about the tight end room that much, but we'll do, as we continue our positional previews leading up to spring football, we'll definitely dive into the tight ends. Okay, Parker Brailsford. How about this guy coming back? I didn't think he was going to the NFL. Well, he'll only be a junior, so I guess he couldn't. But now entering his junior year, this guy is such a key component coming back to Alabama's offense. I mean, this was the first transfer, I think, that Coach Kalen DeBoer brought in last year, following Seth McLaughlin, who had a terrible year. But the craziest thing was that Seth McLaughlin had like the greatest year of his life and ends up winning the Remington Award, which goes to the best center. Still blows my mind. So Parker Brailsford, really, you have three key offensive linemen returning for this season. Steven's confused. He says, bro, I'm calling. Oh, my bad. I was like confused. Let me read it out. He said, bro, I'm calling infused about Sheridan coaching quarterbacks over Grubb doing it. I understand he was able to do it, but Grubb always did it previously. He's coaching them should correlate with the plays called. Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work out with Sheridan and Grubb. They'll figure it out. As we've spoken a lot about like titling, I have no idea. Grubb will probably oversee everything. So people are really happy about Parker Browse for coming back, and rightfully so. Be honest inside the comment box. Did you think that Parker Brailsford would be that good as he was last year? Look at his pass blocking grade was 82.1. I didn't. I think I was complaining about his size. I was, because there was a couple people talking about like his size. I was one of them. I was like, oh, he's too small, and I was like, we need bigger, like a bigger center, like Landon Dickerson or Bradley Bozeman. I think I was in that group. I was wrong. He was great. I think he had like maybe one bad snap, and I think it was in the first game, if I'm not mistaken. And that freaked us out. Parker's very good player. No, Steven, I don't know, man. I know you, dude, don't drive in YouTube. I was trying to read that out. No, I was getting confused myself. Oh, man. So Parker Brailsford coming back, Caden Proctor, and Jaden Roberts. And we don't know who's going to be the other two offensive linemen. We could speculate on maybe like a Cam Dewberry or maybe Michael Carroll or Wilcom Formby. I kind of get the feeling that they're going to give Wilcom Formby a shot at right tackle, which is fine. I mean, let's at least see how he's progressed, if any. I really want to root for Wilcom Formby because he's a Tuscaloosa guy. Like, he went to Northridge. It's the same school as my son. You know, that would be awesome. And he comes from a really good family. But if he's not the guy, then he's not the guy, and you have to move on. None of that other stuff. I don't care if you're a good person. Like, if you're not a good football player, get on the bench. we got the playoffs is the goal. Chris Robinson saying offensive line going to be crucial. And you know what, man? You're absolutely right, because I think going into this season with the storylines, we know there's going to be a new quarterback. Who's it going to be? The wide receivers, elite. Running backs, you have a ton to choose from. Tight ends should be really good. But the offensive line, those are question marks. Rocket Town is still on Happy Days. Yeah, I forget what channel Happy Days was on. But the Fonz, I watched a couple Happy Days episodes, I'm not going to lie. It was a good show. Brenda inside the comment box. Brenda's saying, hey, Kyle, we love you, but we have a family member who has hearing problems. We always set the closed captions, but since you changed your website, there's no closed captions. Interesting. You know, so I use a couple different systems. And first of all, I appreciate the support. So sometimes I use different systems when I stream. What I would try to do is on the rewatch, usually YouTube has a closed caption setting on the lower right that you can click, and that may help solve your problem. So I get it. I watch TV with captions. I think a lot of people actually do. But yeah, keep me posted. Give it like a week and see if that's fixed anything, and then let me know. The Fonzie. Hey. All right. Okay, fam. Well, that's our Thursday show today. Remember, these are also uploaded to Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And I have a Patreon channel. But as news happens, I got you covered right here at Bama Football on YouTube. I'm kind of toying with coming back live in the evening times a couple nights a week as we get closer to spring football. So maybe keep posted for that. And I also upload smaller clips as well. Like, you might see a rerun from this show that is aired later. Don't be alarmed. So a lot going on, but I really appreciate your support. And I always look forward to coming and chatting with you guys inside the comment box. It's hilarious, some of the things we go over too. Like I would have never thought we'd be talking about Kmart and the blue light special or Happy Days. But I appreciate you guys one more time. Be good people. Enjoy your beautiful life. Be where your feet are at. And I will catch up with you on the next video right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Thanks for watching. And I will catch up with you soon, either tomorrow at 10 a.m. But you know me, I'll probably pop on at some other time. All right. See you guys. Thanks for watching.